don't care about it. Stop it all right, stop it all day, stop it all night. Don't care about it. Stop it all right, stop it all day, stop it all night. Don't care about it. Stop it all right, don't care about it. 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 Just stop beating. Be.
You coming home? I'm coming home. Coming home. Coming home. I'm coming
Can't fight inevitability, even though it's killing me. Can't explain why some things just...
Hello everyone and welcome to another DEATHY'S Death Slam. This time we've got the European Elimination Day. So we're starting with the quarterfinals, but we got 3 best of 3 series ahead of us, and Griffin is up at 5 a.m. his time. So how are you doing, Griffin? Are you holding up?
Yep, I got my caffeine ready. I'm locked in. Always got the adrenaline pumping to watch some Deadlock.
Okay, well that's good. You know, I hope that I'm assuming most people watching right now are probably in European time zones because it's very early in North America, and I don't think a ton of people are going to be tuning in super early to watch this. But yeah, I also got my caffeine. I've got a little cat mug. I'll show the stream here. So this is for those of you that are francophones or French speaking, you might be able to understand the pun, but it says chat va bien, which means you know, it's like a pun with cat, and it's basically saying like it's going well, except the cat looks pissed. So maybe that's me right now because I haven't gotten enough sleep. So anyway,
yeah, that might have gone entirely over my head, but I will.
That's okay.
Chuckle along.
There's gonna be maybe 5 French speakers in the stream that'll understand, and then everybody else will just be like, "What are you talking about?"
Shout out the French.
True. So anyway, for the first match, we've got Patron Saints versus Grogladytes matchup. So let me just give you the draft link. I haven't given them the go ahead yet, but I'll just give you the draft link. And yeah, one thing I want to preface is like the European teams have been scrimming a lot. I would say on average, more than the North American teams did. So really excited to see how it goes. For those of you that aren't familiar with the format, essentially this is a tournament in which I spend time with each of the teams to kind of like coach them and give them knowledge and help them out. So in total, I've spent 2 hours with every team. So that's a total of 16 hours since there's 8 teams, right? So you can imagine it's a lot of time. So, you know, if you guys would like to support the show, don't forget to follow, share with your friends, subscribe, however you'd like to support. Just watching is enough. But obviously it's a lot of work for us, and we, you know, I appreciate Griffin, appreciate everybody helping out behind the scenes. We'll give shout outs later, but thanks for tuning in the first place.
Definitely a lot of organizers, a lot of volunteers on the back end helping make sure everything runs as smoothly as it did last time. If we keep that up.
Yeah, and we've got, even more people ever since last time too. We've been kind of adding people to the the organizational squad, I guess you could say, because it's a lot of work, and obviously, we don't really have time to handle all of it, just like Ref and I. So, we started adding more people, and we're hoping to be able to expand things, run these things, and have like slightly either bigger tournaments, move into the league format, which we're doing for NA, and we'll see if we do for EU if the teams are interested in it. But yeah, lots of cool stuff coming. So basically, stay tuned. I will let the teams know that they can get started for first draft. Can start whenever. So yeah.
So for the stream to know, so just a reminder from last week, we're about to watch the Grogladytes and Patron Saints, who from last week's Swiss format, they managed to seed themselves at 4th and 5th place across the 8 teams. So this will be, in theory, one of the closer games we see if the players' power levels stay the exact same as they were last week. However, as Deathy was telling me before, is that the Europeans are grinders. That's not true. So Deathy, if you remember a little bit from our coaching sessions, do you have any insights on what changes we might see to both of these teams and how they might like change their approach to the game?
Yeah, so essentially one thing that so as far as draft goes, I expect to see lots of changes, right? Because before the first day, there wasn't like a lot. By the way, draft is live, just letting you know. We can keep talking, but before the first day, they were essentially going off of like more standard draft theory from what I've told them. But now they've had plenty of time to find their own style and to also find what works at this level. So one thing that I expect to see today is we're going to see pick heroes much less prioritized. One reason, well, I think there's 2 reasons for that. First of all, I think that at this level of play, the teams are not like executing that well on the pick heroes, if that makes sense. And then the secondly is we're kind of in rescue beam meta. So ever since the last weekend, it's only been 1 week, but like the meta has shifted quite significantly because we had a hotfix that changed a lot of things, right? So before like last week, it was like cultist healing Nova meta. Now cultist is like pretty much, it's not like unbuyable, but it's much worse than it was, or early at least. And healing Nova is also like kind of unbuyable, like you're only going to buy it really on supports. But now it's rescue beam time, so I guess we'll see. But I suspect we'll see Paradox and Holiday like ignored in top 3 most games and only picked bottom 3.
Yeah, I share the entirely same sentiment. I mean, especially watching Deadlock Fight Night and looking at all the professional teams, right? Not crutch, but like heavily rely on their strategy of using heal novas to like maintain pressure, and now they're just like switching to rescue beam for the similar option. We see a first pick of Kelvin here talking about this draft of focusing on heal beams and rescue novas. I could see this Kelvin pick being as a way to help secure just like team healing, as a way, as a method outside of just strictly the items. Obviously, Kelvin will probably build rescue beam anyway, but the extra healing, especially in lane, like heal nova nades or heal nades, will have much more prevalence in keeping team alive now that you can't just have 4 heal novas keeping everyone topped up.
Yeah. So one thing I just want to make sure, by the way, guys, let me know if Griff's volume is good. So let me know if I need to adjust anything. I think your volume is good, but I just want to make sure because last week we had some issues, so I just want to double check. But I think you should be good. The Kelvin pick I think is also interesting because it does deny the Kelvin Shiv combo. And so we see Paradox, right as I was saying, I didn't think I was going to see a pick hero top 3. Paradox is picked, so once again, looks like I don't really know what's going to happen. And Pocket top 3. Now, we saw a lot of Pocket top 3 in EU in recent fight night. And also, this kind of makes sense if you're picking the Shiv. So, like, it's good against the Kelvin and it's good against the Shiv. So, you're securing it on your team and denying the enemy team from obtaining it, both of which are good things. But I don't hate the start from the Patron Saints. The only thing that I'm a little worried is, like, okay, well, Lady Geist is kind of a very oppressive laner. And so is Warden and so is Kelvin, and their lineup is super tanky, so they're kind of like going all in on that. But Shiv and Pocket tend to do very well against tanky heroes.
Yeah, I entirely agree. I think I agree with the idea of the pick hero. Like Paradox here looks a little weird to me. In terms of like, especially if you're drafting all these tanky heroes, like I could enjoy seeing like a Vindicta or just something like maybe a Mirage even.
Yeah.
So I think the Paradox is quite an interesting idea. But I could also be chalked up to the players on Patron Saints and how comfortable they are with said heroes. On your personal opinion, Deathy, professional expertise, because you've been actively scrimming and participating in DFN. What is your opinion on the Holiday versus Paradox? Because those two, because I mean, Bebop has kind of been taken out back. So between Paradox and Holiday, what is your take on the stronger pick character? Do you think it's team dependent, or do you think it's one or the other all the time right now?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was just informing because there's one little thing that I forgot to mention, which I don't know if you know this. This might interest you. But,
Okay.
you know, there's I don't know if the bug has been patched, but yesterday when I was streaming, I saw the lucky shot bug with bucket. So there's
Yeah.
yeah, you saw it, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's been in the game before.
yeah.
That was around in like April or March. But I assume the teams though that's probably not allowed.
Well,
Not
obviously,
sure.
it's very clearly against the spirit of competition, but I would just
Yeah.
want to make sure that people know that specifically. Like, I've told people in the past, like, hey, if the bug is, like, you know, clearly game breaking, do not abuse it in the tournament. But yeah, just I told Ref just to let the teams know real quick. I also let them know. But yeah, like the yeah. This guy said turn Griff up. Sounds great. All right, maybe I'll turn you up just a little bit.
Do my best
This
to
should be good.
I'll do my best to be constant with my volume.
No, this
So,
should be
yeah,
good now.
also-
I turned you up, so
Also answer Paxel in chat. I believe it's 3 best of 3s. So it's gonna be best of 3s
yes.
the entire day, including
Yeah,
the
so
starting game.
that's one thing that we so for North America, one of the biggest complaints that we had was that the first game was best of one, and we did it from a time perspective. We didn't want the event to take too long that day, not for us, but really for the people that are participating. But people in the EU are extremely passionate, and I think even the people in North America would have appreciated best of three. So we're learning from our mistakes. So to get back into the draft, Wraith banned.
We're taking a bit of time here on Grogladytes to figure out what they want to.
I do want to mention something about this draft strategy from Grogladytes, right? If you notice something about their bans and picks, they have Geist Warden and Mirage, and they've banned Wraith. Now, I don't know if that, if anything jumps to you right away from that, but to me, what jumps is okay, they've banned the best gun carry in the game, and they've picked all the other ones.
Yep.
And so there's no good gun carry left, really. Like Haze is not really a gun carry. Like she can be played pick, but as a carry she kind of sucks.
Yep.
Infernus is not really a gun carry either. Neither is Seven. And so Patron Saints Shiv is gun, yeah, but I wouldn't say he's a carry. So they're kind of very, very invested into this spirit type of damage.
Yeah. I'm worried that the draft strategy of pick all the sustained DPS heroes and then draft because not only are Warden, Geist, and Barrage these very hard-hitting gun heroes, they're also the heroes that just build a bulk so naturally and are able to tank extra rotations of all of Pocket's abilities, or tank an entire rotation of the Paradox combo. So I think I currently like what Grogladyte has going on right now. The Kelvin as well to help keep him topped up as a support. Most supports would do this. Dynamo and McGinnis might do it better with their max HP heal. But overall, I think I enjoy what I'm seeing on the Grogladytes, especially because in a patch or two ago, when they hotfixed and changed a bunch of the defensive stats on items to be spirit, definitely a buff for the gun characters.
Yeah,
as they're able to help resist. Siphon Bullets per se, probably going to be built on Mirage, will now help defend against the Pocket combo, the Paradox combo. Even maybe a Shiv dash. We'll see if the Shiv decides to go for more of a gun tank build or more of the traditional knife dash ideas.
Yeah, I think here Viscous last pick for the Patron Saints. I do quite like the Sinclair pick here. You're going to be able to steal the 7 ult and stuff. I do also think Sinclair Execute has been fixed with Shiv. So for those of you that didn't know, previously if you stole Shiv Execute, it didn't really work. And also, if you tried to execute Shiv, it just didn't do anything. It would take you to the Shiv, and yeah. So yeah, in terms of drafts, I think that if you look at the team fight part of things, Grogladytes lineup has a lot of scary things, right, around the urn fights. They can steal the 7 ult. They've got Warden ult, Lash ult, Kelvin Dome. Mirage can split push. And so I think around these urn fights, Grogladytes lineup is very, very scary. However, one thing that they don't have is a pick hero. They don't really have anyone that can like go around, make things happen necessarily. So they'll need to play sound from the macro, and they'll need to like kind of snowball from the laning stage if they hope to win this game.
I have entirely the same sentiment. I think Grogladytes, they took a little bit of time with their draft, so I'm not entirely sure how comfortable or how desirable this draft was for them in terms of like assigning a hero to character. I kind of would have liked to see, I think, a Mo and Krill on the side of Grogladytes as their pick hero, because at least watching the North American DFN, I thought that Mo and Krill was able to actually get a lot of value, and I think Mo is still relatively strong. It's just a little hard to play because he has no damage, so he's not very not very self-reliant on finding picks on his own. But I think the draft strategy I'm seeing from the Europeans here is just, I think both teams are ready to scrap. Honestly, I don't think you pick Calico. You don't think you pick Calico Pocket 7 without like playing around your ult timers and just playing for this big go in 5-man AoE moments. And I think Grogladytes kind of the same idea with their ultimates, but even without their ultimates, I can imagine Grogladytes kind of just running it down, not like running into the enemy team and just like full forcing a fight by getting in their face. So I'm excited. I think we'll be in for a treat.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I've coached these teams, so I can give a little bit of background on some issues that people in general have been having with this tournament. So obviously, when you get introduced to competitive deadlock, kind of the first thing that I teach people is like, okay, well, here's the differences from pubs. And one of the biggest differences, I'm like, hey, people are going to be on time for the buffs. People are going to be on time for the urn. People aren't going to let you do these things, right? If you're not on time, you're not going to get these, right? You're just going to lose them every time. And I also tell people, like, being in the driver's seat is important. And I will say, I will just let the teams know that they can go whenever, so we can ready up in the spectator. Right. Being in the driver's seat is important. All right, looks like they're ready, so gotta start it up probably. They're typing. Here we go. But yeah, so they've kind of like in their scrims, some of them have been a little bit over prioritizing those objectives. And kind of like, not necessarily like over prioritizing, but the fact that, since they're giving so much importance to those objectives, it kind of becomes almost as if like it's a curse sometimes. And some people have drafted, like, I've seen drafts where their whole idea is like, okay, let's draft specifically for these urn fights, etc. So to me, I look at the side of Grogladytes and I kind of feel like their draft is a little like that. They've kind of drafted for the urn in a way.
I agree. However, they were able to pick up this Mirage and this Geist, both which I think are some of the stronger side laners. Geist obviously still lacked mobility, but I mean, if you have an urn fight down in the side lane, Geist can still post up mid lane and have enough presence to be scary with swap available to kind of guarantee any 1v1. At least survival, if not a complete victory. And then the Mirage with teleport as well. Obviously, they would probably have to send Calico to match, because Calico Cat Form is kind of one of the only other abilities with that somewhat global presence. Let's say Ivy Cat Form, Ivy Flight, Calico Cat Form, and like Mirage TP off the top are like the only three real roaming.
I will say I am definitely worried about the ability to match in the side lanes. But before we get further into the matchup specific things, I do just want to do a quick rundown of the roster. So I'll go with Amber, aka Patron Saints. So we've got Tempo on the Calico, Vil on the Pocket, Julian on the 7, Pyro on the Paradox, Ginga Ninja on the Shiv, and Lemspielt on the Viscous.
And then on the side of Grogladytes here on Sapphire, we have Devil on Mirage, we have Coggy S on Kelvin, Nico on Lash, Wacko Jacko 357 on the Geist, Zave on the Magician or the Sinclair, and Templar Bean on Warden.
And going into these lanes here, we've got, the Geist Sinclair mid, I think extremely scary lane. I mean, in general, I think that the side of Grogladytes have quite strong lanes, for sure. And playing Pocket into like a double Spirit nuker lane is going to be a little tough. Now, one thing is that these teams, from my experience, did also like over focus boxes a little bit, but we are
Okay.
still in a little bit of a box meta. But sometimes, you know, it's better to just shove depending on the situation.
I was about to mention the same thing as we saw both teams from the mid lane kind of just evacuate and leave the wave to naturally meet in the middle.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, you know, if one team does it and the other team doesn't, then you kind of fall behind. But if one team does it and the other team pushes, then you might be, you know, at disadvantage. It's kind of that like mind game where no one answer is correct. It's all about adapting.
Yeah, we're now seeing kind of the difference in item meta already. Because before, you guys remember from last week, we kept on making jokes about how many heal novas and cultists we'd see as like the first or second items from every character. I think we're seeing a lot more variety now, kind of more traditional items per se. In the mid lane, the Geist and Sinclair both bought headshot boosters, so obviously looking to apply pressure and like already abuse their strong characters and a strong poke to maybe look for an early tower. Because Geist Magician, as well as having excellent poke, also have incredible objective damage. So, see if something comes from that.
I've been seeing quite a lot of pressure from the side of this Kelvin Warden lane.
Yep.
I will say that Warden right now just feels like an incredibly like strong laner. His gun just like, I don't know exactly what happened in the item patch, but his gun just kind of like started feeling like just way stronger compared to everybody else. I'm guessing that his gun probably just didn't get touched much, and a lot of people's guns got nerfed. And so he just kind of feels like he hits like a truck right now in the laning stage.
Yeah, I remember I looked at this earlier, or I looked at this like last week because we were comparing, because Warden, Dynamo, and Kelvin are kind of like the three, or what I was thinking of, the three low velocity gun heroes that had strong bullets because their bullets were so strong, were so hard to hit. But Kelvin gun and Dynamo gun both kind of just got completely gutted following the item patch. But Warden's comparatively did not. So while Warden kind of maintained his strong high risk, high reward for the idea of it's kind of hard to hit the Warden bullets, the likewise of Kelvin and Dynamo kind of didn't get the same treatment. So I completely agree with the assessment on Warden though. Even post nerf, where they nerfed the bullet growth per boon by a little bit.
Sinclair getting taken down in the mid lane, so that's first blood going to the side of the Patron Saints. Tempo picking it up on the Calico here, and not necessarily what I expected to see. I mean, I do think Calico Pocket has, you know, a lot of burst potential in that lane, but I thought that the pressure from the Geist would be maybe a little bit too much from the Geist Sinclair, but Sinclair going down.
Now they're pulling ahead with like a thousand soul lead in the mid lane. Already a strong start too. However, Calico and Pocket did use both their ultimates, so it'll be interesting to see if Zave on the Sinclair is able to capitalize on their ultimate cooldowns and like look to apply some pressure back now that they don't have this like nasty affliction.
Yeah, quick little rescue beam check. We're at 2 rescue beams at the moment. So I do know that we're going to see definitely a lot of rescue beams today. I asked the teams yesterday, some of the teams, if we're going to see like, you know, a lot of rescue beams, and they're like, yeah, we've seen a lot of rescue beams in European pubs as well, and it's definitely going to be part of the tournament. So I fully expect, like, I don't think we're going to see like 12 rescue beams like we would see 12 healing novas. As we do see Warden being very, very, like, taking a lot of damage as his Shiv just gets rescue beam, getting pocketed by the Paradox. And I mean, a Shiv getting rescue beamed is about one of the scariest things that I can think of.
Pyro on the Paradox becoming kind of low as well. Still has swap though. Hits the dry swap. Wow, excellent combo. Coming from the side of Patron Saints.
Templar being going down.
I like what I like how Genga Ninja built opening rounds first item here. I think that item is incredibly overtuned. For 7 spirit power and a conditional 40% weapon damage, it's kind of one of the more damage focused items that we've kind of seen from the new item patch, and one of the more simpler ones to activate too, especially on Shiv, because if they're above the threshold, you're going to do more damage, and if they're below the threshold, there's a non-zero chance they're just in execute range as well. So
yeah, it's definitely a fantastic item for sure. And we've got some action in the mid lane here, as it looks like the guys amping up the pressure a little bit on this Calico, going for some poke, but don't think anything will come of it, as they're going to look to back up here. And we've got a rescue beam on the Geist as well, so maybe we should do another rescue beam count, but we've got 3 rescue beams already on the side of Grogladytes.
We have 3 on each side, I believe.
Really? I only see 2 on the side of
Oh,
Patron
yes.
Saints.
Never mind. I'm hallucinating. That's what 5 a.m. does to you. I thought the Calico had one
Yeah.
as well. That's my bad.
That's fair. If Calico had a rescue beam, that would be a little crazy.
You never know. You never know. Support cat. We did see that at the first DFN the Calico was around. I believe it was Naked running a support Calico with like
Yeah.
cold front rescue
This is
beam.
just the beginning.
I believe it.
Viscous managed to go down on the right side here.
Yeah,
That lane looks to
Devil
be struggling a little bit souls-wise.
for sure. Devil, the first person to kind of strike for his team. You know, the only kill right now that the side of Grogladytes have. Definitely not the best start for them so far, but you know, still totally manageable. They're not so far behind in the laning stage, and really right now it doesn't look like any lane has an overwhelming lead.
One thing I haven't particularly felt like I've seen, or I've seen it a lot in plugs. I'm not entirely sure if it transitioned over to competitive play, but the Radiant Regeneration item, which was the new item introduced with the item update, or the hotfix after the item update, I've seen it like completely dominate like Geist healing charts because it essentially just provides like a 100 flat heal every time the Geist chooses to press Malice, which is like once every 3 seconds, or actually I think it's once every 4 because there's a cooldown on the item. But
It's like once every 6 seconds, I believe, is the cooldown. Obviously, if you have cooldown reduction, but yeah, I mean, the item is really strong on Geist for sure. I was playing with Spooky yesterday. We were doing some laning practice, and he was kind of rushing it, and it definitely looked strong to just like even rush it. Obviously, Rescue Beam Rush kind of accomplishes like a similar thing as far as healing goes, and you can also heal your teammate. So I'm not sure which one is better to rush. Yeah, a lot of damage, like mid tower, a lot of damage, and we've got the side tower where the Mirage resides, which almost went down as well. So towers being traded left and right, but you know, this is starting to become like a slight lead for the side of Patron Saints as they ramp up the momentum, and they took the Kelvin's tower earlier.
yes, it's kind of scary to see the Pocket here at 9k. However, the Pocket did end up using Affliction just to defend the tower, even though it's basically a 1 HP and anyone... Oh, wait, did they take it? Oh, I think they just took it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they just took it right in front of them.
Pocket ended up using Affliction just to defend it, only for it to kind of be for naught.
Yeah.
Kind of, now that he definitely won't have it for when buffs come up now. So we're definitely looking to see maybe Grogladytes on the Sapphire, I believe. Look to maybe tempo off the cooldowns to find the buffs and look for an aggressive fight. I think Paradox is getting gone on right now. Over on the left.
Yeah, Warden just ulting right on top of the buff. He's gonna secure it, no matter the cost.
Smart play. Yeah. Building
Gets
cultists
the gun
anyway.
buff. Yeah, I will say going cultist this early is a bit interesting. I mean, it does, as far as ramping up your farm, it's still just as good as it was before, right? It'll still give you those bonus souls from when you kill like a tier 3 neutral or anything. As Lash is looking to come in, no ult here. Can he get a slam? Goes up to the Paradox, half ult on Pyro. Just gonna grapple away, and it looks like...
execute here. Ooh, Shiv has max execute right now.
Yeah,
Chasing all the low people down.
Patron
Over on the
Saints
right
just
side,
walking
however.
forward.
The Shiv might be a little too deep though. He was moving to get out. Maybe. We'll see if Patron Saints can rotate over to the urn just in time. While that all happened, while the Shiv was running down, the Sapphire team, the 7 and Viscous on the other side managed to take their tower, opening up a flex slot for both teams, or for just Amber.
Yeah, to the side of Patron Saints. As they're looking to steal the urn here from the Sinclair. Sinclair just trying to run away, keep the urn. Looks like he's going to manage to stay alive as the swap does not connect. Cage onto the Calico, but she unfortunately manages to escape for them. 7 ult, gonna connect onto Devil as Devil goes down. And Patron Saints just kind of running them down.
Yeah. Not only are Patron Saints winning these like side skirmishes, both like when they were taking the urn, or both when Grogladytes was taking the urn, and now that they're defending the urn drop-off spot, but they've also done a really good job. Every time these fights have happened, there's always been one person still pushing and getting an objective. Now no Guardians for the side of Grogladytes. Pocket at 12k at 12 minutes is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Lash is going to go in onto the urn. Gets domed. Heavy melee from the Calico stops him for now. As Warden ults on top of it, we've got the stolen 7 ult from the Sinclair as well, hitting everybody. Huge damage going on, but the urn is still not turned in. Nobody's picking up the urn. Lash ult onto 1. No kills though.
Lash gets parried here by Pyro on the Paradox. Takes a lot of poke.
Nobody's
There's a lot of
picking up the
hit
urn
money
still.
here.
This is completely insane. As Nico goes down, we've got a trade. Wako Jacko on the guy's gonna pick up the urn and go to the turn in. Can he get delayed by the Viscous? Viscous going forward. Parry from the Warden, nicely played as the side of Grogladytes strike back and get the urn to bring the game back to a more even state.
The pocket has entered with Majestic Leap Affliction. We'll see if he tries to take a play. Just takes 2, gets 2 with his Cape Cloak combo and just escapes out. So, we're all equal trade. Grogladytes did manage to secure the urn, getting a little bit of souls, but I think they ended up losing one more person for a 3-2.
They did, but from a souls perspective, it was extremely advantageous from Grogladytes overall on the map. Before the soul, Grogladytes were down almost 8,000 souls. But now since they got the urn and they got some other stuff on the map, all of a sudden, it's an even game. Mirage getting got on here by the Paradox.
Yep.
Gonna be going down.
What do you think about the items here on Mirage? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not
I think
entirely
the
sure.
burst fire seems a little...
Burst fire.
Well, you know, burst fire this early seems a little weird. I mean, it's obviously a very good item, but it is a little odd. He does pick up Enchanter's Vest and sorry, Enchanter's Emblem and Battle Vest, which are really good. So I'm not too surprised about that.
Yeah.
7 ult here on the left Guardian just to take it. Well, stolen 7 ult, sorry, so it's on a 60-second cooldown. I mean, incredibly powerful, you know. So the picking the Sinclair to 7 always feels so good because you just get that 7 ult, except you just have no cooldown on it, essentially.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a max ult first.
Yeah, he has 2 points in it already, with 3 ability points in the bank. So he just needs 2 more. So I think he gets 2 more at like 14k, 15k. Is when we'll start to see like the max 7 ult come online for the side of Grogladytes. Julian on the 7 for Patron Saints already has max ult, by the way. So I think they just hit their timing. They just bought improved cooldown for their ultimate, I believe. Or sorry, compressed cooldown for their ultimate. So they're looking to get active with their static cloud.
Yeah, but buffs and urn are going to spawn in 20 seconds, and we're kind of going to see both teams scramble and look to set up. And I would definitely favor, you know, the team that might have just hit their 7 timing as the side of Grogladytes are running forward here onto the Viscous, gets bunnied, gets taken down immediately. 7 going half health, Lash going in, trying to see if he can finish him off. 400 HP left on the 7. He ults, but they're just going to run away.
He has no spirit lifesteal. I wonder if... I feel like Grogladytes could have killed this 7, because the 7, while strong with the 35%
they
or
definitely
55% bullet resist, he has no lifesteal. No lifesteal, no healing. So
they probably could have, but at the same time, you know, they made the safe play.
Yeah.
They just backed up. And now 7 doesn't have ult to contest the urn fight.
Yeah.
I'll deal with the troopers.
While the soul count for both teams is quite equal right now, what I'm kind of looking at is like who's peaking per se. And while the 7 obviously hit his like cheap power spike at 12k, the 17k pocket and the 16k shiv are both relatively like scary threats for the side of Patron States. However, on the side of Grogladytes, we really only have the 17k Geist as this sort of Thanos presence that we have to worry about. The Warden has ultimate, which is like obviously functions very well on low soul count. But the Mirage and the Lash per se, I don't feel like are particularly as scary as they should be at the time of the game.
Paradox swap does not connect as we've got the dome right on top of the urn, and they just get it for free. They have to spend dome, yeah, but they get the urn. Affliction gets stolen. I don't think it hit anyone, as we're gonna see just a reset. So
yeah, Pocket afflicted the Sinclair and Geist. So, but with max ultimate already for the Pocket, that's kind of just gonna be a no-go for team fighting for the side of Grogladytes. Just wait out the affliction and heal up again.
Yeah. I will say I'm incredibly impressed by the level of gameplay that we're seeing. Like going for that urn there, just doming it, and then just like resetting, like really, really great discipline from the Grogladytes. They understood the objective. They were like, okay, we used our ultimate to just secure the urn. We don't have to chase this fight, even though maybe they could have won the fight. Not taking the risk, just playing it safe. I mean, they know that if they lose this best of 3 series, they're out.
Yeah, I think Grogladytes might have also been a little bit aware of their power spikes and timings. I think off of that urn, the Lash was able to buy Silence Wave which I think will be really crucial if they're able to find Silence Wave on like Pocket Calico before they could use their get out of jail free cards, right? That's incredibly scary for the side of Patron Saints. If you can find a Silence Wave on the 7 before 7's able to ultimate, right? We kind of just completely disable an entire kit for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting buy.
Burning my build.
Lovely buys. Yeah. Is that what this is? I can believe it.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's my build exactly 1-to-1, unless you're just buying these items and it just so happens to be exactly the same items that I would buy, which is possible. But it also looks like the exact same AP. Yeah.
Do you ult max next or do you flog max? Okay.
I usually ult max. Obviously, it's game dependent, but considering the net worth that he has, I would highly recommend that he ult max. Like, he's more of a lower net worth on his team at the moment, so I think opting for a more utility like Lash style here is great. And they don't really have a lot of great answers to Lash ult this game, if we're being honest. Like, Lash ult is incredibly powerful against these heroes.
Yep, they have Swap and Cube in theory, but those are both like Cube is only single target, and Swap doesn't necessarily stop Lash ult, just kind of delays the slam damage afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Bring your enemies low.
This is kind of what I meant though on the side of so what I'd like to see from Patron Saints here is for them to abuse the fact, the advantage that they have a pick hero while Grogladytes don't. I would love to see them be active and try to look for something in smaller numbers and play off this paradox, bait waves, and look for a swap.
Accelerating time.
Just looking at what items we bought here. Seven bought Warpstone, so I think this is, I don't think we've seen this before, but I like the idea. It helps you position to prop the urn, helps you look for potential picks with the 7 stun, however delayed it may be.
Yeah, this is the
Pocket ended up buying
support 7 build.
Oh, is that what this is? I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm expecting, they did put 2 points in their power surge, but I kind of am expecting a max 7 stun.
Yeah, it'll be max stun. Yeah. The 2 points just for the cooldown, just so you can keep applying the debuffs as your power surge. Realistically,
makes sense.
it does make sense. Both teams are kind of just sitting by, getting positioning. I mean, we've got buffs in 30 seconds. Both teams know how important this is. Now, one thing I'm going to keep my eyes on is the Devil on the side lane. You know, how can he take advantage of it? He's got 8,000 souls unspent. That's a lot. He should probably clear this wave, and you know, honestly, even before clearing this wave, I would have went back to base here just so he can spend his wave, because he needs, since the buff and urn is going to be on the other side of the map, I think it's important that he can apply pressure on this walker and like 1v1 anyone. But he's got so much money.
Count how many people they see, because I think they do see all 6, and he realizes that. Continuing, obviously his damage is kind of lacking, but also this right buff is just going to be free for the side of Grogladytes.
Sinclair getting saved at like literally 1 HP, like double rescue beam, like domed. Will he make it out? He's afflicted. He actually lives with
Flash is
1
also
HP.
getting chased down. Flash is dead.
They're gonna get a walker off of this though. Mirage didn't go by, but he got the walker, and then he gets stunned by the fireball. That's a classic moment right there.
Yeah. Pocket picked up here. It's just to recap buffs. Pocket picked up the movement buff here, and I believe the Geist picked up a survival buff. So relatively ideal buffs for both teams. This Geist is sitting at 3,200 HP. The Geist also has 7.5k unspent. So I think Grogladytes are maybe waiting to hit another item or two before they go back and actually capitalize on their souls power spikes.
Yeah, I mean, Geist, it's very important that she buys like now, because they could go for this urn anytime, and you really don't want to be, you know, caught out with 8,000 souls unspent. As the side of Patron Saints, you know, they're positioning for this urn.
The Geist is hitting boxes. Oh, the Geist is walking forward with 8k in the back.
Yeah. Not what you like to see. Mirage position on the other side of the map, once again creating some split pressure, as it looks like the side of Grogladytes are just, sorry, the side of Patron Saints just walking in. Lash ult onto one. Kogies, the first one to go down. Lash trying to make stuff happen. Fighting the Shiv. Calico getting the pressure, and it looks like the side of Patron Saints are just going to be able to get this turn for free.
The Geist, however, is in. As I said before, 24,000 soul Geist has a lot of boons, perhaps, but still has like their net worth in their bank account.
Yeah. 24,000, more like
Ginga
16,000.
Ninja on the Shiv with the movement. I don't know if you saw, but Ginga Ninja did the classic like wall jump dash onto a roof. Clean the escapes.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, Ginga Ninja has been playing really well. One thing to mention is that even though the game has been, you know, even from a Souls perspective, and we, in fact, Grogladytes had a lead before this turn, there's a lot more kills on the side of Patron Saints. You know, 13 kills to 5, and also 3 people on Patron Saints have never died yet. So we've got 3 perfect games on the side of Grogladytes. It's just the Geist that hasn't died yet. One thing that's interesting from the guys too is we're not seeing toxic bullets, despite being against, you know, 7 Calico, Shiv, Viscous, like a lot of healing, right? Do we have, in fact, much anti-heal at all? We have a Decay on the side of Kagi. We have Healbane on the Lash. We do have some anti-heal.
We have toxic bullets on the Mirage. We just picked up Siphon
That's true.
as well. So.
Good call.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee.
Okay,
You gotta stay awake, you know?
The Templar Bean on Warden just picked up Heroic Aura, so they're definitely looking to kind of hit their team fighting power spikes. I would like to see more anti-heal because, like, well, obviously they have like the perfect spread per se. It's not entirely realistic to like assume that you're always going to have each form of anti-heal be applied to, you know, whoever needs the anti-heal all the time. So I like a little bit of overlap with anti-heals on my team. But
Yeah, definitely. I think
Mirage,
having like
Mirage
2
getting
Healbanes,
collapsed on right
stuff
now.
like
There's 5 running around this Mirage right now.
that. Beautiful tornado.
Murders it. That's what I was gonna say. Yep. I don't know if he still gets out though. He's still getting dove. But take a lot of damage from this Calico. Oh, what is going on here with Max ultimate? Big Lash ult hits 3, all into the Warden ult here, and following by a huge slam. And that's 3 down with the 7 soon to follow. Rescue Beam is not enough. Julian on 7 goes down as well. Insane tempo. Like that was like a 3v5 on the side of Grogladytes here defending their
That's
walker
insane.
here.
That's crazy play from the Grogladytes, getting 4 kills, and now they watched the Deathy video. They know about the triangle, guys. They know about the winning trifecta, and they're gonna go mid boss because
fast mid. Let's go.
yeah. And if they get mid boss here, this is a massive lead for their side, as they're gonna probably have roughly a 20k lead and mid boss. And I would say that this is looking extremely good for the side of Grogladytes, despite a rough start.
You were mentioning how you feared that their comp was a little too over-engineered for fighting these objectives, but
Well, it looks like that's
just
exactly what they
having
needed.
Such a strong force. Yeah, I mean, because of the Lash ult, especially like helping CC, not even a max Lash ult, but they just ended up taking so much damage on the way down that I mean, I think the side of Patron
you get
Saints
silence
died
waved,
with
you know?
they died with most of their ultimate slots. Affliction wasn't used, Stormcloud wasn't used. I don't even think Calico was able to get the Calico Shadow ult.
No, Calico was able to get she used it early to go on the Mirage, so she didn't have it to dodge Lash. So it's kind of like the perfect bait. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit on that play for obviously the fast response from Nico and you know, who else was it that responded on the side of Grogladytes?
Templar Bean on the Warden.
Templar Bean and Nico with the response, but you also have to give credit for Devil for, you know, hitting that tornado.
Living?
If he gets swapped there, like before tornadoing, if he doesn't react quickly, then none of that play happens. And this play is like potentially game winning from Grogladytes. So a lot of credit to those 3 players.
An interesting thing to note, I was going to mention this earlier, but Pyro on the Paradox chose to max the ultimate first for the swap, the cast range on swap, rather than go for the silence wall. So even at that far distance, I believe the swap would have hit. I think it is kind of interesting trying to prioritize the swap range over silence, because I feel like the silence on Geist, the silence on Magician, the silence on honestly the entirety of the team of Grogladytes would be really oppressive per se.
Yeah.
So
definitely
interesting
not
to prioritize
standard
the range. Yeah.
Definitely not standard, but you know, I'm never against seeing some people experiment.
The Paradox has Silence Wave now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they had it for that last fight, but at least now they have
Once again, we're gonna see a dome right on top of the urn. Nico gets it. They 7 unstoppable ult, but with the dome, it doesn't really matter. And then they're gonna knock down the 7. 7 hits the ground as Warden is going on top of him. Goes for the cage. 7 gonna be going down for the side of Patron Saints as Grogladytes look to run forward and get this last walker. Lash ult on the 1.
Here. Lash now has max ult, so after the stun into combo with Silence Wave, no hope for Calico Tempu to get out of there. And this is just 23k lead now. Tempoing that one crucial team fight win into taking 2 walkers, mid-boss. They could honestly continue.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to keep going. 2 kills in their favor still. They're going to keep going
Mirage
down this lane.
Pocket going on the Mirage there.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
I think the Silence Wave actually came out very strong there to help secure the kill on Mirage there. especially aiding with like the minus 12% spirit res, helping the pocket just burst incredibly.
Yeah, if you look on the
Pocket
side
here
of
with
pocket,
Spirit
burn and
E-shift.
E-shift.
Yeah, so
Definitely interesting. I mean, I think those items are quite good for sure. And he's going to be really annoying to kill. You know, E-shift with superior cooldown. This E-shift, just for everybody at home, is on a 15.9 second cooldown. That means that every time that you go for your full combo on pocket, you essentially are going to have E-shift. So every time you go for, you know, cape cloak, you're going to have E-shift on top of that. So you're just going to be really annoying.
Kevin gets swapped here. Wow, Kevin got swapped, however, or Kelvin got swapped. However, Pyro ended up missing the silence wave following the swap, so Hoggy was able to dome himself to security. Koggy also built counterspell on Kelvin here. Would love to see. I
Okay.
can see a huge play coming in. Help parry affliction, parry swap perhaps, parry the Shivult as well. I think it's a good buy here on the side of Grogladytes.
This item, this counterspell item is like, I want to love it so bad. I love this item so much. Like, this item is my favorite item in the game. Like, I'm not even kidding. I love this item to death. But it's just, I mean, it got a buff, I believe. I think that the, did it get a buff? Yeah, I think it went from 0.8 to 0.8 seconds to 1 second. So, you know, I think that it's pretty nice because you have essentially 1 second of invulnerability from enemy abilities. But it does feel a little awkward to use at times. But I really want this item to be like buyable because we never see this item in pro play. Essentially, it just feels kind of weird to buy, but it's so fun to use.
I just think there are too many boomers in pro play. They don't got the reaction time for it. I mean, the item I think is really strong.
Who are you talking about?
No comment. I think the item, for me at least, kind of resembles, it's basically what old E-Shift I think was trying to be, in that it still provides like insane stats relatively. If you're able to manage it, if you're able to manage a successful parry, you do end up getting 20 spirit power and 2 movement speed for 6 seconds. Which I think is not, which is more than just marginal.
Yeah.
And it's also on a relatively low cooldown. So to me, this is kind of just like a more skill-intensive E-shift. You're not able to just press it whenever you want to get out of jail free. You kind of have to time it to actually parry a specific spell. But I honestly, when I first saw the item, I was expecting it to be bought like on like 4 to 5 characters per game.
Yeah, I mean,
So much pressure.
I was also expecting it to be bought like more often. I was like, okay, this item's gonna be everywhere. I think it's just a kind of like good balancing that it isn't bought on every hero, but we're gonna see the teams kind of set up for the turn. Kelvin on the rope, just hiding right now. Paradox charging up her carbine, going forward, trying to look for an initiation as we see the swap not connect, but Calico does get the buff. Kelvin with the beam looking for counter initiation. 2 bunnies on the side of the Patron Saints. Can they get anything?
I wonder if the Mirage will ult to this fight or just be content with pushing the side lane here.
I'm gonna look on the last here.
It is
Going
a 5
towards
to 6
Urine.
for the Grogladytes.
Pocket in the air, going on to 2 people. Arctic blast onto the
Warden
lash.
took a lot of poke here. Warden is down to like a third of his HP.
Looks like he's afflicted, even though my, oh, never mind, he's not.
No, it's just Spirit Burn, I believe.
Yeah, I see.
Arctic blast on the side of Pocket and Calico on Patron Saints. So, the side of Patron Saints is kind of just now buying a little bit more by just buying more forms of hard CC here.
Wait.
I mean, Calico running up with Arctic Blast is definitely something to consider.
Arctic Blast has new art, does it not? It didn't look like this.
It just has a weird border. I'm not entirely sure what that is.
No, that's
Oh,
entirely new
going
art.
for the cap. Wow, the Viscous just gets the cap straight up in the middle of everything.
Yeah, Warden in the back here, ulting, looking to get some targets. Onto the Shiv. Shiv is very tanky. Lash ult connects onto 1, Tempo going down. Stolen 7 ult into the dome. Lemspielt and Julian also go down as well. 3 killed from the side of Grogladytes, and this could very well be either another mid-boss or downing the Patron, or maybe both.
The 40k Pocket has Affliction, has all the cooldowns up. Could try to channel our inner Ido, hit the 1v6 here. Might look to make it.
He actually can maybe 1v6 here. I'm not even kidding. Like, if he goes in mid here, he gets a fat affliction. Like, with E-Shift. Mirage does spot him, but oh, he really should go for this. He really should go.
I agree.
I don't know if he realizes it, though. Okay, he hears the
little
call of the siren.
indecisive.
No, he hears the call of the siren.
Shiv also going in here, so we have this combo of Affliction to bring everyone down, plus a Shiv Execute to kind of combo off everyone. Looks like they're going to go for it here. Goes a little early. He gets bunnied. And also whiffs the Affliction.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
It's just one of those moments that I think you gotta go like when they're doing the mid boss, because you really like you could have gotten so much damage. If you go as they're doing the mid boss, you afflict 4 or 5. That's a lot of damage, and that's just gonna make it so maybe you have a chance of cleaning 1 or 2 people up.
Also on the side, just the side of like human reactions, I think the magician would be more. The magician in this instance is definitely just holding Bunny ready to just press it when the rejuve drop. If you manage to go while they're taking it, the magician's probably like holding left click to shoot, so it'd take a little bit longer for a magician to like notice the pocket afflicting them and like look to Bunny. So I think there's definitely a bit of timing there, at least with the side of going when they least predict.
Yeah. I think he could have also just like gone onto it and E-shifted and then canceled the E-shift, parried maybe. Because you know you can cancel E-shift now ever since the changes. But Grogladytes getting the down on the Patron. They have rejuve. They have literally all of their ultimates, and if you're going against the pocket, he's gonna have affliction in 6 seconds. I mean, I think you got to keep your eyes on this pocket because it's really gonna be up to him. He's got all of their net worth. You know, whether they win this fight or not is highly dependent.
It's a 2-man ultimate, but big 7 stun. The dome manages to save almost everyone though. Will be enough though. The 7 ultimate is inside of the dome here. Everyone is kind of getting burned alive. Unfortunately, heal bane on the 7 is not enough anti-heal. Yeah.
This is looking a little bit grim here for the side of Patron Saints. Zav, stolen execute, just kills Tempo, and also gets the kill on Ginga Ninja. There's a lot of healing coming out from the side of Kelvin here, and looks like Grogladytes just running into the base. I'm pretty sure that they can just end. They've got healing tempo on the Kelvin, giving a lot of fire rate to everybody. If they just shoot the Patron, I don't really see how the Patron Saints can stop them.
I think 7 is trying his hardest, but unfortunately, I believe this might just be a relatively average sized. Honestly, I thought this game was going to be a lot shorter. 34 minutes. Tense.
Yeah, 34-minute game, and GG, well played. Map 1, or game 1, because there's no... a map is such a, I guess, CS term, you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, game 1 goes to the side of Grogladytes. Really well played. I'm not going to lie, given their team comp and given the way that the game started, I really did not expect them to take this one home, but some really, really clutch team fights around the mid-game, and getting that momentum from mid-boss really took it home from them. So yeah, well played by them. Let me pull up the scoreboard here in just a second. We're going to look at the scoreboard, then we're going to take it to a couple-minute break while the teams, you know, maybe get some water and all that stuff, and then, you know, we'll go to game 2. So let's see. So scoreboard. I don't have all the fancy graphs that DFN have, by the way. You know, anybody from DFN watching, those graphs are really cool, the new stuff that you did. But, you know, we can look at a couple things. So Kelvin, 30,000 healing. That's a lot. When you consider that if you combined Paradox and Shiv's damage, that's Kelvin's healing. A lot of healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you look at the healing by source, by type, Frozen Shelter, 11,000, and Frost Grenade, 10,000. That's a lot of healing from Frost Grenade. It rescued him 8,000 as well. So, pretty crazy stuff here. Great performance from Kagi on the Kelvin, only having 2 deaths and 1 million healing.
He managed to pick up heal tempo, or he had heal booster for like the entirety of the game, and then picked up heal tempo relatively around the 17-18 minute mark, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But that definitely just, I mean, he got a lot of value off of dome and nades because the side of Grogladytes just kept grouping up. Like I felt like he always got like 2 or 3 man domes, very effective domes where his allies were at low HP.
Mm-hmm.
Great performance, great positioning.
Yeah. Other than that, as far as like, you know, performances, I think on the side of Vil, on the pocket, I would have liked to see a little bit more activity. I mean, he did do a lot of damage for sure in these fights, right? But he had a lot of net worth, so there was kind of, I guess there was a lot of expectation, right? Because when you have this much money, it's kind of up to you to try to carry the game. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. It feels like in most of these fights, he wasn't really able to have as much impact as he probably should have been able to with his net worth. And I guess you could, you know, on the side of Grogladytes, I also feel like we didn't really get to see the whole side lane dominance thing play out, except for that one time where Mirage got a split push on the Walker. But other than that, I don't think they really took advantage of that too much.
Yeah, I think Patron Saints did actually do, aside from that one aside from that one fight which we keep mentioning, they did a relatively good job of keeping this Mirage kind of down in the dumps, because at some point the Mirage was like 1-4, 1-5, and like relatively low on the soul chart, relatively low on the net worth chart, because they kept 3-manning them with the Paradox.
Yeah.
Although one key difference I think in all these builds is that the Mirage did build debuff remover, which I think helped keep the Mirage alive, especially for some of these slows, which I think helped catch the Mirage out. Meanwhile, on the Pocket, we ended up like, I'm not particularly a huge fan of this Radiant Regeneration item. I think if we had debuff remover, especially because I feel like a lot of the times we saw Pocket getting caught out because of a silence wave. So having a debuff reducer or debuff remover to essentially just 1-to-1 counter a silence wave could aid the Pocket in staying alive, getting a cloak off or getting a satchel off.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention as well, if you open up your item shop, we've got a couple of new art. So I was not crazy. Chat did confirm.
Yep.
So capacitor, that looks sick. Capacitor new art updated. Shows kind of like the skeleton through it and stuff. So that's kind of nice. We've also got kinetic dash updated. So goodbye bunny, say hello to the horse. So Arcane Surge already kind of got updated to a horse. So it looks like they think stamina equals horse. It's kind of what they're telling us. What else? Yeah, Arctic Blast has got like the cool border and also like seems to have like just more like vivid colors and more contrast. I mean, Arctic Blast looks so awesome. Like the art is sick. And what's the other one? I think there's one more. Oh, Inhibitor. Inhibitor looks bloody as hell now.
Oh wow, yeah. They made it very clear what the item's trying to do. We'll say they're kind of just going more for that dark, contrarian artist approach. I mean, I like it. I love seeing the art of this game evolve. I mean, I kind of still remember the the empty non-decorated buildings back in like September.
Oh yeah.
With all the lighting being very dark.
I mean, some stuff was like really rough back in the day, you know, especially like in May when I started playing, May 2024. Like I started playing over a year ago at this point, which is crazy. But yeah, some stuff was definitely rough. The game has come such a long way since then. It's been awesome to see. Anyhow, just wanted to let everybody know we're gonna go on a quick little 5-minute break in just a second. I'm just, you know, setting up the timer for that. And after the break, we'll be back with game 2 of Grogladytes versus Patron Saints. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I mean, the first game was already so entertaining. I didn't realize 34 minutes has passed.
That's fair. All right, so let me just do the little professional transition, and we'll see you guys again in a few minutes. Thanks for sticking with us.
Hope to see you guys soon.
Don't stop, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't stop, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't stop, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't right, don't stop, don't be, don't be, don't be, don't be, stop it all day, stop it all night, don't care about it, stop it all right, stop it all day, stop it all night, don't care about it, stop it all right, stop it all day, stop it all night, don't care about it, stop it all right, don't care about it, don't care about it, don't care about it, don't care about it. Don't care about it, 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 don't care about it. Just suddenly, be,
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, I was just finishing a fruit bar, as I've learned perhaps is the term. But anyway, it's a one of those Nutri-Grain bars. You guys let me know what you call them at home. But welcome back for Game 2. Grogladytes versus Patron Saints. Right now, Grogladytes took Game 1, and they are ready for the draft, or they're going to be ready for the draft very soon for Game 2, as I will let them know that, they can start whenever. But what are you thinking about Game 2? What are you looking forward to seeing?
I think both teams kind of showed both their preference in how they want to play the game and their strength in executing their ideas. So on the side of Patron Saints, obviously they picked the Paradox like second, relatively early, and for the most part, they were able to find, I think, a lot of like impressive swaps and get a lot of pressure off the Paradox pretty early, especially catching the Barrage on the side lane. Obviously, on the side of Grogladytes, we saw their expertise when it comes to just outnumbered fights. We saw a lot of the times they would choose to fight like 3v5 or 5v6, but because of their confidence in using their comboing their Lash and Warden ults, and their confidence in like the Sinclair 7 steal into the Kelvin Dome, we saw a lot of just, I think, really well executed team fights from the side of Grogladytes. So I'm kind of interested to see. Obviously, the Patron Saints, being the ones who lost, are the ones who have the burden of adapting. And I wonder if they're going to continue to go, or I wonder if they think that the reason they lost was due to not looking for enough picks, or if they're going to switch to the Grogladytes play style and look to have more presence in these team fighting characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're getting right into the draft. So I will send you the link in just 1 second as well, so you can follow along. but
For sure.
here's the link. So Patron
Thank
Saints banned Yamato again. I believe they banned Yamato last game, so it looks like that's pretty much
Yep.
just their strategy. Grogladytes banned Abrams. I think they also banned Abrams, and then
Yep.
Patron Saints
I
picked Shiv
think so.
again.
This is an exact mirror for the first 3 choices we've seen since last
Yeah,
time.
and if you're Grogladytes, why change anything? You know?
Yeah.
Just go Kelvin Geist. I mean, it worked so well for you. Why even bother changing it? And now if you're the side of Patron Saints, do you value the pocket as early? You did do a lot of damage, but did it get enough value? It looks like you do. What about the Paradox? Okay, so they picked Mirage
Oh,
instead
so
of
that's
Paradox.
the adaptation here. Right. So
Mhm.
yeah. So I guess like we were talking about how it didn't feel like the Mirage had too much sideline pressure, but maybe the Patron Saints is now valuing maybe having sideline pressure of their own rather than having the Calico run around.
Yeah. I will say, Calico was kind of poor last game, and it's not one of those heroes
Yeah.
that you can do well on when you're poor. Like,
Yeah.
Calico is like a bit feast or famine. Like, I know that Calico is very hated at home. A lot of people think she's OP and all that stuff, and fair enough. But when you are poor on Calico, the hero legitimately feels horrible. Like, you feel like you're completely useless.
Especially if you go for this Spirit Arctic Blast, like both build and play style, where you kind of I feel like play a lot similar to Haze, where you're in cat form, you're kind of hidden from a lot of sites, and you're incredibly
Yeah.
fast. You can kind of just run up on people, burst them for almost the entirety of their HP, maybe just one shot them, and then like leave,
Yeah.
no consequence. So
Yeah.
especially when you're down on souls, your damage breakpoints become embarrassingly low, in actually executing that like one shot combo.
You just like, when you're down on souls, you just do like, 40% of people's health, and they just look at you and you have nothing, and you're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave. So,
Yep. Back to the draft, we saw that the Patron Saints picked Paradox and banned Holiday to kind of have that, like the monopoly over pick characters. Obviously this game, because Paradox wasn't picked, I think they were looking to keep both options open because maybe they're still looking for a pick character, maybe because of their playstyle, maybe just because of character or hero people's character pools.
Yeah.
Grogladytes here adapting to pick 7 here, so they're kind of trading their picks. 7 obviously makes a little bit more sense for Grogladytes because of how powerful the ultimate is in changing team fights.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I like the 7 pick more here. I'm curious
Agreed.
to see if Patron Saints are gonna like strike back with Sinclair. The reason why I like 7 more than I did for Patron Saints when they picked it last game is because you don't have the Grogladytes ended up getting Lash and Sinclair, so now Lash is out of the picture, right? So you don't have someone who can easily cancel your ult. Now, I would like from the side of Patron Saints for them to pick up someone like a Holiday here, so you have like an answer to the ult. Looks like they're going to opt for the Paradox, which I like a little bit less than the Holiday, simply just because having the Holiday, at least you have like an easy answer to the 7 ult. You can always cancel it if you keep your lasso for that. Paradox can't really do that. And they're going to go Paradox Ivy. Now, Ivy, okay, so this may be a little bit of influence from me. But I have told a fair amount of teams that Ivy is really good against Kelvin, which I do believe is true.
Yep.
I
agree.
So maybe that's the reasoning here.
Seeing an Infernus pickup following the 7, that's interesting. I don't know if I necessarily agree
That's
with that.
incredibly greedy from the side of Grogladytes,
Yeah.
I think.
I think what I could see this as is who was on Mirage last game? I can't remember the name, but I could
Mirage
imagine
was
maybe the
Devil.
Mirage hero. Yeah, I can imagine they don't have, maybe they're like lacking a little bit in hero pool, and because their Mirage was picked out, they might be like an M1 type of player. So Wraith was banned by them, Mirage was picked, so now they're like 50, and 7 was also picked as well, probably for their support character, or so their support player. So now they're looking for this Infernus versus like Haze per se. Maybe a Viper pick, but it could be a hero pool diff I could see as the rationale behind this Infernus pick.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Infernus here is just, I don't personally love the Infernus, right? Because I think you've already got Geist and Warden that are going to be like greedy and like farming in theory. 7, I can see it because it's going to be more of a probably your supporty 7. Holiday, I think, is a good pick. Yeah, the Infernus is really the only pick that I don't love for the side of Grogladytes. I feel like they could have just picked like Calico and it would have been really nice potentially. Calico would have been like a decent answer. As far as other heroes, I think that they could have looked at something with the, perhaps like a bit more utility. I'm extremely visual, so when I don't have the hero roster, sometimes I just don't have what comes to mind.
Entirely.
So I'm like, But Sinclair would have been okay again. Once again, like I think that their lineup is pretty good on AoE damage. That's one thing I like about Grogladytes is most of their heroes have like good AoE damage, right? Geist Warden, 7, Infernus, Holiday, almost all of them will do damage in some sort of area control. Whereas Patron Saints, Shiv doesn't do much AoE, Mirage doesn't do much AoE. But you do still have like some strong heroes on Patron Saints, but they might be a bit squishy.
Is it the same lobby code, by the way?
Yes, it should be the same lobby code.
I will
While we do
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
I'm gonna put us back on the camera scene while we set up the lobby. As I get
think
the lobby
honestly,
code again.
one character I feel like incredibly under trapped, especially for the side of Patron Saints, honestly, is Vindicta. I think Vindicta going specifically for this like spirit Loving Stack has named it Grill Vindicta, but basically you
Yep.
go with stake, Alkfire, maybe escalating exposure, but like you Echo Shard for double stake, and you essentially just become like this artillery cannon of damage, burns on the ground, and scary CCs, because Tether
Mhm.
not only has just an insane amount of range when they buff the range to like vortex people in per se, but also just insane amount of duration, and while you're staked, you have like minus 40% fire rate or something insane like that.
Mhm.
I think that Vindicta character is incredibly undervalued by these teams in the EU. I don't think I saw a lot of Vindicta last week either, and especially on the side of Patron Saints, where I think the Geist and the Warden are kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of just running in a straight line at you because they lack movement abilities, right? They're really easy targets to hit that stake, Crow, Alkfire, and just like melt them while they can't chase you type of combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of
And
the
we're going to
characters
be
I wanna
going
see
into game
applied.
2 here. I do agree
Yep.
with you on the Vindicta and what you said. In NA, we see Vindicta a lot more. Depending on the draft. Like, she tends to be like more of a second half pick. But she is picked somewhat often at pro play. I've seen her in recent games that I've played or in tournament. But yeah, game 2. Grogladytes versus Patron Saints. For everybody just tuning in, Grogladytes won game 1. So this is game 2. I'm going to go over the roster real quick. On the side of Patron Saints, we've got Tempo on the Mirage, Vil on the Pocket, Ginga Ninja on the Shiv, Julian on the Ivy, Pyro on the Paradox, and Lemspielt on the Viscus.
And then on the Sapphire side, we have Grogladytes again with Devil, previously on Mirage, now on Infernus. Coggy S on the 7 again. Wacko Jacko, who was on Geist last game, is now on 7. Templar Bean, Warden last game, Warden this game. Zave, who was on Lash last game, is now on Geist. And then Nico on the Holiday. So
Yeah, and I think
interesting to see that they swapped their Geist around, as their Geist player has changed from Wacko Jacko to Zave.
One thing to mention is, you were right about the Infernus being Devil, so like Devil was on the Mirage, now is on the Infernus, so it's possible that he just has a limited hero pool. Obviously with this tournament, we formed the teams, and every team has some hero pool issues. It's just normal, like when you're a newly created team. I mean, even some high level teams have hero pool issues, right? So of course a team of randoms is going to have like hero pool issues. It just makes sense. So it's very possible that it's limited to that. I am curious to see if we'll see another masterclass performance from Coggy here on the Kelvin.
I mean, looking at how this lane is going, Julian bought heal right only for it to be immediately popped by, I think, a Kelvin bullet. So Tempo on the Barrage is already facing a lot of pressure. Coggy just kind of walked him down with the Ice Beam, as Kelvins do. But now, obviously, Mirage bought Mystic Regen. He gets to pop that basically as easy as he wants, and it's just maybe a bit of a broken item for Mirage here. We'll just heal up with basically a permanent 4 HP regen.
I believe it's 5,
Warden and
isn't it?
Paradox
Is it
are
4?
fighting over boxes.
Oh, it
I
is
think.
4.
Yeah. On the side of left, it looks like they both got it safely.
A little bit of box fight. I mean, we saw the Warden lane dominate last time, so we'll see if we kind of see a similar story. I will say that Warden 7 does sound like a slightly weaker lane. One thing about 7 is that generally I like pairing 7 with another hero that has spirit damage, because 7 benefits from spirit, resist shred quite early on when he gets 1 point in his 3. But Warden doesn't really output any spirit damage until his ultimate.
Yeah. I could see them. I think Grogladytes has been constantly drafting for. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track. I don't know if they draft for keeping the same players in the same lane, but at least their mid lane here drafting Geist Holiday. Obviously, very just oppressive. A lot of poke. You basically have double grenade if you count barrel as a grenade, and then a lot of pressure because they'll probably both might look to get like headshot booster and just like apply a lot of poke with their strong guns. So,
Yeah. Looks like we might see a Radiant regeneration rush on the guys here. But she's still applying a lot of pressure, still being very aggressive, so I like this a lot from their mid lane.
You see Julian, and Julian is just completely left lane looking to do a box run here. This is... I like this, or I used to like this. I do this a lot myself with my duos. Although I feel like he might have missed the timing here because his Mirage is getting pressured under tower.
Yeah, I feel like this is not really working out that well. I mean, the Mirage lost a lot of his health, and they lost like a third of the tower's health, so that can't be good.
Yeah. I like the idea, but they might have had to push out at least one more wave before venturing on their pilgrimage to the boxes.
Very true.
We won't falter.
You know, times change, but things never change. People are always just walking around. Human beings, they just like to walk around for pointless goals, you know, or maybe not pointless. I mean, the boxes might be very, very important to this Ivy.
Yep. Looking at items here, nothing particularly strikes me as a surprise. Lady Geist managed to have their Mystic regen relatively early already.
My beauty is eternal.
And
Here only misery will
the Viscous is getting poked out. Took 2 barrels to the head, 1 HP, and wow. Okay, Vil comes back in and saves, or manages to trade out the Geist for the Viscous. Viscous was in a lot of trouble. Took the Crackpot plus 2 barrels for like 500 HP burst because yay holiday. But Vil, once again, we're kind of seeing that he has this strong, maybe it's not selfish, but he has this strong tendency to like play for money maxing, I'll say.
Yeah, I would say, you know, that not necessarily selfish, but you also have to understand that, oh wait, we're going for the buff here. One thing to understand is like, oh wow, 4 stacks, he got so much damage on these guys. I mean, it's possible that they could, you know, maybe pinch them, but, you know, we don't really know what happens in these guys' scrims, right? I mean, I know a little bit, but I think on the side of having someone on your team that is going to be farmed most games is something that's beneficial, right? And it's something that most pro teams have, right? You look at VP, like Zergy is always going to be farmed. You look at Hydra Nation, you know, Lefa very often is going to be farmed. You look at the side of Valhalla, right? Do is going to be farmed. Like, every team kind of has that one player that's going to be like, no matter what happens, you know, they're just going to play for their own game. They're going to be selfish and they're going to be farmed. And you can't have 6 players like that, but it's good to have 1 or 2 players like that.
Entirely agree.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Pyro here because, you know, he's got a swap, he's got rescue beam. Can they get anything done in the Shiv lane?
Obviously, the one consequence of building this rescue beam is that, especially with kinetic carbine scaling off of weapon damage, I fear that the Paradox themselves don't actually have that much damage. Does hit the swap here. Unfortunately, doesn't really do that much damage. 7 ultimate proving a lot more effective in just actually pumping out damage numbers.
Yeah, we're just gonna see a reset essentially, but you know, this swap ability has like a fake cooldown anyway, so it doesn't even matter. 30 seconds. All right, it'll be back up, so they can just go again. And 7's ultimate is kind of the opposite. Like this ult is now on cooldown for 131 seconds still, after it's been clocking. So by the time Paradox ult is back up, 7 ult will be on cooldown for another 100 seconds. So they can do this multiple times, even if they just get a trade out of it.
And the next time that Paradox has swap, Shiv, I believe, will have Rage. I don't think Shiv had Rage in that last fight, so definitely hurting damage numbers a bit, both with like double dash and just like the flat 20% or 17% damage buff you get.
Yep, 7 throwing out the stun. Paradox gotta have ult again. She has it. They're gonna rescue beam, heal each other. Do they have a rescue beam on the other side? So Templar being actually on rescue beam on the Warden here.
The Vil on the Pog has been getting poked out by barrels and bombs consistently. Popping heal right for himself. Viscous ending up going extra spirit over rescue beam rush. Oh, and just takes another bomb, doing like 200 damage because of the minus 15 spirit resist.
Yeah, I will say this is one of the worst pocket lanes that you can imagine.
Yeah,
like, Holiday guys, like, I can't really think of much worse. So much credit to Vil. I mean, this I'm a pocket player. Like, this lane is rough. It's very, very difficult. And then like the fact that he hasn't died and he's, you know, kept on money. Like, yeah, they lost the tower, but they're not so far behind as far as souls go. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters. Like, you don't want to just throw the lane. It's okay to lose a tower, but if you lose the tower and you're down a lot of souls, then that lane can snowball heavily into other lanes.
I completely agree. I don't think just doing a quick check up with the items. We have 3 heal beams or 3 rescue beams on the side of Grogladytes here. Oh wait, go to commentate on the right side. No gargoyle with the side of Julian here. He gets caught out with Infernus ults into Kelvin Dome. This is comes over to fall over and help out. Ivy gets fight off here. Connects with the gargoyle on Devil, but I think it'll just be a quick retreat as they realize the Holiday's coming back in. Holiday has lasso here. Could be looking just isolated pick. Kind of waiting to see where the Holiday lasso comes in.
She's kind of just holding on to it, not really using it. I'm a bit curious myself. I feel like she could have just thrown the last one, either one of those targets there, and they would have secured the kill. But they do have a lot of damage, right? Viscous is 1 HP, like Ivy's half, and so they're probably just going to run forward and try to take this tower, I would assume here. I don't really think that the side of the Patron Saints can stop him. And yeah, it's going to be second tower here, going for the side of Grogladytes. And this is kind of the opposite of game 1, where we saw Grogladytes have a bad start and come back into the game. Now we're seeing them have a good start, so you got to be a little scared here if you're the side of Patron Saints, you know, facing elimination in this game too.
Yeah, I could see the Holiday being worried about Gargoyle per se as a cooldown. I think the Holiday did see Cube happen, or did see Cube get used, but I wonder if the comm was made that that maybe the Holiday was looking at the Ivy, and the team on, or the rest of the Grogladytes didn't necessarily communicate whether or not Ivy had the Gargoyle cooldown. Kind of like help rationalize what the Holiday might have been looking for. And honestly, the Holiday not getting the kill there, obviously you lose some souls, but like it's not entirely the worst in the sense that you take 2 people out of the game, they have to go back and heal, or go back to base and heal. So they still relatively are out of the fight, or out of the game per se, for at least another 10 seconds to zipline back, heal, and zipline into the game again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think let's do a little rescue beam check real quick. We got 3.
That's what I'm looking at too.
3 on the side of Grogladytes.
We have 2 on
we
the
got
side of
2.
Patron Saints. Yeah.
But Grogladytes consistently having just a little more rescue beams. I mean, maybe that was the secret sauce from game 1, but on the left side, got a bit of an engage here. Lasso does not connect as Warden does cage Ginga Ninja, but will there be any follow-up? 7 going in with the stun. Warden channeling his ult, looking to tower dive here. 7 ult does not really connect as they're hitting in the corner. Warden going to chase into the corner, goes onto the Shiv. Shiv escapes as Mirage TPs as a response. The tower will go down, but it looks like the side of Grogladytes will have to reset here.
Ginga Ninja on the shift, you're doing a good job of. I think that was just an excellent juke waiting around the corner to stall out the Warden ultimate. Obviously they lost the tower, but I could have seen myself dying on Shiv there. Honestly, that was really well played.
Yeah, that was good movement from him for sure.
Yeah.
And Affliction just going on to Devil on the other side as they're going to look to pressure this tower. Mirage speeding in as well. So 3 people on the side. And that's going to be the first tower Patron Saints are going to pick up here. As, you know, down 2k souls, down 2 towers. But pretty even early game so far from both sides.
Kelvin managed to pick up a movement buff into picking up this urn now. So obviously that's kind of the ideal combo for any support looking to run urn. Turns around as he watches his Warden get gone on. He watches Warden get executed, only to continue running the urn.
Walker is under attack.
Unfortunate. Obviously, now that the Patron Saints have a number advantage, this urn capture looks a little bit more suspicious. But also, they could see that the Patron Saints have 2 on the Shiv and the Patron Paradox pushing this Guardian now because of their Guardian advantage and their like map advantage per se on objectives. Are they giving this urn?
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to give up the urn. So this is probably, maybe, perhaps also my influence. Because technically they're down and there's 2 Guardians available, and I told people that if you're down souls and there's 2 Guardians that you can split push, trading the urn for 2 Guardians is a positive trade, which it is.
Yep.
And as you can see from the net worth, my theory is proven correct as they were behind further than they are now.
They also managed to get a flex slot and pick off the Holiday.
Yep. For the people at home, if you're behind first urn and there's still 2 Guardians to split push, this doesn't work if there's only 1 Guardian, by the way, but if there's 2 Guardians, it's a positive trade to split push instead of going for the urn. If you're able to get the Guardians.
Still, I think 3,000 souls, I believe. Maybe a bit more. Well,
I do want to say it's also possible that it's not my influence. I don't remember what I said to every team, but I did tell a few teams that. So you know, maybe it's not my influence. Maybe they're just geniuses. That's also possible.
Beautiful save, Koggy pulling in on the Kelvin to rescue beam the Infernus from like a little bit of a dicey scenario. I think the Infernus ended up using Flame Dash to clear Church Camp on the enemy side. You know, being a greedy M1 player, and then ended up getting caught out. So good on Koggy to like rotate over. Relatively equal game we
Look
have
at
going on
this
here.
Warden build, bro. Like,
Oh my
that
God.
is too funny.
I mean, this is heat. I like this.
I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not even saying it's bad, but it's just so funny to see this with the Warden items. Like, what world are we living in? We're just seeing a Warden with Arcane Surge, Slowing X, Quicksilver, Reloaded, Rescue Beam. Like, this is basically
Yeah, I
like,
can't
for
lie.
those that play Dota, this is like position 4 Warden.
Yeah. I mean, I can't lie. I've been with a lot of the builds I've been looking at, or like the copies I make. I add an extra section at the top for flavor of the week, because I feel like
Yeah, same.
every week we have like a new item to go to. Right? We had Heal Nova,
Yeah.
then we had Cultist, and then Heal Nova, and then Rescue Beam. I mean, Enchanter Emblem sometimes I throw in there because obviously it's an Enchanter Emblem just energizes.
I think
all
Enchanter's
three.
Emblem and Battle Vest are like, in NA, they're like the most underbought items. I don't know why people hate those items. Like,
Yeah,
in
no, I
EU,
love-
like,
I mean,
you
I
see
love
those
them.
items every game. But in NA, like, some people are just like, they just don't buy them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, talking with Ranger, who's the coach of Hydronation, I think he just has both vests as like the first 2-3 items in most of his builds, due to just like, not only do they provide incredible stats, they each also provide 2 HP, 2
Well, it's
out-of-pocket
actually 2
HP
and
regen.
3. Yeah, so Enchanter's is
Is it?
2 and Battle Vest is 3, I believe. Let me
Really?
check right now.
Yeah, I might only be buying it.
Yes, Battle Vest is 3 and Enchanter's is 2.
I see.
I mean, this Battle Vest, I don't know why Battle Vest is 3, I'm gonna be honest. Like, why is it 3? It should be 2.
I mean, just to comment on some issues with the numbers in this game. I'm sure you're aware of the holiday. Oh wait, they patched it. Never mind. So I remember a patch or two ago, holiday was hotfixed, or not hotfixed in like April, for the tier 2 barrel to be plus 80 instead of plus 100, and then with the item update, Shadow got brought back to plus 100. So it looks like
Oh
that's
yeah,
bad.
that's classic. As we see
Yeah.
on the side of Grogladytes here, fighting on the left side of the map.
The
They're gonna
Visca's
pick
gonna
up
go
2. That's a
down here.
huge bag as well.
Yeah.
Visca's going down, and now
Oh, but it's the
game
Covenant
goes
getting
from
caught out
8 to
here.
5k lead.
The pocket is pulling up with Affliction. Looks to drop his entire combo. Kelvin has nade, has rescue beam, so does survive the burst by just providing a bunch of HP on his own.
Yeah,
One
looks
thing to
like
do talk
Foggy's
about
gonna
with-
escape.
About the pocket is obviously with tier 2 Affliction, that adds an extra 40% heal cut
Yeah.
to an already strong ability. Definitely contributing here to cutting this Kelvin's effectiveness, but
The
Rescue
one thing I
beam's
will
just too
say
much.
is that like so you've got tempo with the toxic bullets, but I would personally
Yep.
just love like to see Healbane on this pocket. Now I know you already have the heal cut, and I know like some people are like, why build Healbane on pocket when you already have anti-heal, but we like cheap anti-heal is like much weaker than it was before, and so having the option to get heal cut from your ult and Healbane on pocket just feels really nice.
looks like there's a fight over the right buff here. Warden manages to get his ultimate off. I think Warden also... Oh, wait. Who picked up the buff? Oh, I thought it was Warden.
I'm not sure who picked up the buff, but I do believe that it is the side of Grogladytes. Not sure exactly who got it, but we're gonna see a reset here as Tempo got picked, and we've got now a 7k lead from Grogladytes, looking to take home game 2 here as they pick up the urn. It's gonna be a neutral urn.
Just barely off by like 2,000 for the side of Grogladytes.
Paradox swap onto the Infernus here on the side lane. Devil Gus go down, gets picked. Very well played here, and they're probably just gonna hurry around to the urn then. What's gonna be the answer here on Patron Saints? Are they gonna give up this urn as well and try to split push the Walker? Looks like that's gonna be their answer as Mirage does TP. They're pressuring the 7 here. 7 doesn't have ult, so probably gonna struggle to defend this Walker, and they're gonna look to trade the urn for a Walker here.
So this is a bit of a different 7 build that we saw before. Last 7 build we saw... Well, okay, this 7 build's honestly confusing me a little bit, because I was going to say, ability point wise, the last 7 build we saw, I think, no point stun, 2-point surge, and then max ultimate really early. Now we have we invested 3 ability points into ball here. However, we also rushed lightning scroll really early. So I'm a little confused if this is more ult focused or less ult focused.
Well, I think what it is it's not following a build.
Okay.
So, you know, the last one I could tell you exactly who made the build. I could reference the build ID. This one I'm like, I don't think this guy's following a build.
Affliction connects to only Kelvin here. Kelvin's kind of stuck in a sea of piranhas. Might have 3 or 4 people chasing him. No heal resources left. No nades. No cooldowns.
There's no way.
Does he get out? There's no way.
He might. Yo, whoa, what a nade! He naded the wall.
Or the rescue beam. Wow,
There's
Kelvin gets
no
out
way.
there. Coggy.
Oh yeah, this guy's the goat.
Yeah, Kagi built enduring speed here. I really like that. I feel like that definitely helped.
Okay, this
contribute to the
enduring
match.
speed item is so good, by the way. Like this
Yeah, I
item
agree.
is so good.
Two movement speed in this day and age. Not even just
Enduring speed
just
fleet
raw
foot
movement
is
speed.
just like you are immortal.
Yep.
Our yellow walker is under.
I think that's probably gonna be the next flavor of the week. Is just like
This
enduring speed
guy's
fleet foot.
is 26,000 souls at 17 minutes. By the way, this guy's rushed. I think it was 1 point traded to max bomb, and has been. We might need a souls by source check. But this guy's has been hitting the camps, hitting the waves. Still doing good damage at the team fights, I think. Still has been relatively present at showing up to team fights here. But
Yeah.
I mean, 26,000 guys is something you have to be worried about here on the side of Patron Saints.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not really sure how you deal with this guy's side. I mean, I think you have to affliction her, but you know, it's just such a significant lead, and all of it is on the guy. So what I will say is, if somehow you manage to deal with this Geist, or if somehow you manage to take a fight where the Geist is not present, it will be an even fight, roughly.
Yep.
If the Geist is there, that's like their entire net worth lead.
Unfortunately for Mirage, like I'd say the one
Victory.
real answer to like obviously the tank heroes is we were talking about before, gun characters with sustained DPS, and unfortunately Tempo on the Mirage is really poor. And Mirage is kind of one of those characters like Calico where when you're kind of behind, it's really hard for you to like play the game you want, right? When you're behind, you're not as strong to like actually win your 1v1s in the side lane to apply pressure like Mirage wants to.
If like Mirage has the 1v1 Geist here, like
Oh, it's
Geist
over.
will literally just one-shot him. Like if
Yeah,
it's a side lane,
even
like
the
Geist will
Infernus.
actually just one-shot him.
Infernus is up 4k.
I think the
on
Infernus
this
is like
card here.
maybe manageable. I will say from the Mirage, one thing I don't like is just no green items, right? I think you want
Yep.
at the very minimum battle vest. You could even have just battle
Yep.
vest enchanters anyway. You know, the rest of his items are okay, but like no greens just make it so like he's just gonna die instantly to anything really.
The Infernus has 6k in the bank here. I think looking to maybe hit one more camp and hit a 6,400 item, or maybe he's just shopping right now. I'm kind of interested to see what this Infernus buys, so he just buys toxic bullets.
And now let's talk a little bit about just kind of mental right now. So if you're the side of Patron Saints, you're facing elimination. You're down 13k right now. This guy has almost 30k at 20 minutes. You know, how do you come back from this? Like, what's your kind of like game plan here?
I mean, with the combo of Paradox, so I was gonna mention this earlier that this Paradox max swap into Silence Wave. This Paradox had Silence Wave like really early at like 10k. So I think this, along with Ivy, like Ivy Stoneform / Bomb for a bit of shred. The Ivy now has Crippling Headshot too, to help I think aid in like taking this guys down a peg. Plus we have Pocket, we have Shiv, so we have a good amount of like. Wait, I have to commentate here. Pocket just gets popped out. Pocket used all of his abilities to burst the Geist, and the Geist just took no damage. Geist still has swap gear at 700 HP.
Guys just tanked every ability possible. Uses the swap onto the Shiv. Shiv goes down. That's 3 kills. And now the second layer of the trifecta has been completed, and they can go on to the third. They could go mid-boss here if they want to. They have Dome, they have Infernus Hold, they have all the tools necessary. But it looks like instead of doing that, they'll look to just apply pressure on the map, take the Walker, and go for the Urn, which is not bad either. They can go for mid-boss after. Devil does get picked, though.
Yep. Ivy flew in with a airdrop ready to drop on Infernus to finish off the kill. He did, however, manage to take the Walker here. Wasn't entirely too sure on the timing, but the Mirage was just like obviously trying his best to defend the Infernus and push him off. But the Infernus just was willing to trade his life for the Walker as per usual. Huggy secures the Urn here. Oh, and
Yep.
Geist.
Urn
Leave
and
Urn, Geist
Walker,
manages
and
to
now
secure.
they're probably just going to go mid. I mean, I don't really think
Yeah.
that the enemy team can do anything to stop them from getting mid here. They have
I
Kelvin
mean,
ult, they have everything.
This is why we need a Souls by Source check. Instead of going mid here, we have Zave hitting the camps instead. Obviously, you're counter juggling, so you're applying pressure. You're kind of stealing some money from the enemies, but still.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Looks
it
like
is
it's
definitely a
not gonna be a
blunder
big
from
call.
them to not go mid here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they still could go mid, to be honest. But now Affliction is up, so you do have to worry about that a little bit. Spellslinger going to be picked up on the Geist. So now this Geist is just going to be shooting at the speed of light and reloading at the speed of light. So going to be difficult
Even
to
though
deal with.
Affliction is up, this Dome from Koggy has 274 HP regen. So even with Affliction, like honestly, with how tanky or how much greens are being bought on the side of Grogladytes, I can't imagine even if Pocket hits like a 6-man Affliction, if Pocket gets stuck in a Dome, I don't know if Vil and Pocket is going to be able to actually burst anyone through their massive HP pools.
That's a good point. Probably not.
Oh,
Oh,
parry
wait.
here.
Oh my god. There's no way.
This Koggy's
There's
a
no
bit too
way,
confident.
bro. He just walked up, parried it, stole the last hit, and walked away. As we've got guys running at the Mirage on the side lane, by the way. This Mirage is like, oh my, this guy is getting deleted. I mean, it's 20k to 35k on the guys. Like, this guy just deletes Mirage.
What do you think about the headhunter item? Because obviously it was changed in the recent hotfix where a bunch of items now scale off of like boons.
Yeah.
Before they tried to make it scale off spirit earlier, and they're looking to new vectors of scaling. So what are your takes on this new headhunter item?
Yeah, I think Headhunter is just in a good spot. Like, I think it's good on specific heroes at specific times, right? Like, it's not bad. Like, once you get to this stage of the game, for example, on Geist, like 170 damage off of headshots and 6% heal is obviously very strong. It's stronger than it was before, if anything. But it's just that it's not as viable to rush. I mean, I think that the scaling per boon is like a great answer. I kind of think that they should probably do the same thing with Rescue Beam, to be honest. Just make the base heal suck and just have it scale per boon. So that we don't see this whole Rescue Beam thing. One issue that's kind of plagued Deadlock in pretty much since the beginning is like when specific items are too good to rush, the game just feels unfun. Like when it was like DB meta, everyone has the Vine Barrier and they just rush it. Like, that's unfun.
There's a lock-in meta too for a little bit.
Decay, yeah, lock it. That's on fun. And so they fixed a lot of those things by kind of like nerfing the base item and making it scale. But we've got a bit of a fight
bit of a pickle. Manages to get the dome off. Oh, Seven has unstoppable lightning scroll ultimate here. Koggy does manage to go down, but lives for quite a long time. Xavier's in. Xavier's just going crazy on the backline here.
Let's go on the guy's POV here. I gotta see this.
Yeah, no, he's just IV's evacuating people. Yeah, the guys managed to pick up debuff remover and
oh my, that was a 700 damage headshot.
Yeah, guys picked up spear resilience and debuff remover. So even though this Ivy has mystic Vol and crippling headshot, this guy's just so tanky, especially with a bunch of bullet resist coming from Warpstone and Berserker. It's just, I mean, I don't know. This guy's 4,000 HP. Even has bullet resist from the Thoric Aura.
They're gonna try to steal this, by the way. I think you have to try to steal this. You're down 40k. If they get mid boss, it's over. You might as well try to play to win. Curse onto the Ivy though. Who has curse? Someone has curse.
A Holiday.
Nice.
Holiday here has knockdown curse. Knockdown curse, superior cooldown, enchanted emblem. So
well,
yeah.
Well played from the side of Nico. I mean, I have to say that curse was clutch. You know, just making sure that nothing gets stolen. And yeah, I mean, it's looking extremely dire here for the side of Patron Saints, unfortunately. On the verge of elimination as Grogladytes look to claim game 2. Warden running forward.
Might be caught out here. Rog gets throwing hex here. Gets rescue beam. Honestly, is it enough? They could just continue through. They're playing apprehensive.
I think they're going to be slightly disciplined here. If you're the side of
Guys
Grogladytes...
get swapped in here. Instant debuff remover into Warpstone. I mean, yeah.
She chill. I don't see how you kill this guy. I mean, I think this guy is like...
Neither.
Yeah, I don't know. This just...
Plus the Spellslinger item is still really good.
I mean, she has Spellslinger, right? She's got Spear Resilience. She's got Berserker and Warpstone. So she has a lot of both types of resists. And she has debuff remover. I mean, I think really good itemization coming out from the Geist. I'm assuming, you know, following a build, but definitely like buying all the right items. Buying Enchanter's Emblem. Now, I was being told by my teammates that nobody buys Enchanter's Emblem on Geist. And I was like, I think that's crazy. I don't know why you wouldn't buy Enchanter's Emblem on Geist. Like, isn't Spirit Resist on this hero really good? Because you do self-damage and all of your self-damage is Spirit. But anyway, I don't play Geist, so hey, who knows?
I think it's still really good. I mean, in theory, you technically never get like cooldown value on your ultimate because whenever you're swapping, you're generally below the threshold for the cooldown. But that's like relatively niche in terms. In the general, I completely agree with the idea that the stats are busted. I think Enchanted Emblem also is just strong because when you're maxing bomb like this and you're just hitting the camps, right? The extra cooldown and the 15 spirit power you get from the item is just not negligible at all.
Yeah.
And it's helping you hit camps faster, per se. And yeah, when you see Koggy here, I think they should look for a fight right now while Koggy is running Urn. They see Koggy running Urn, they should know it's like kind of... Oh, I guess two people are down.
I mean, the problem is the guys to raid bosses is just walking forward.
Yeah.
You know? I'm literally just watching this guy, and it's just like she just destroyed the shrine in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, affliction
She does
comes
get
in here.
afflicted though.
Hits
I mean,
3
she's
here.
taking
Hits
no
the dice,
damage from
Warden, and
affliction.
7, but it doesn't matter.
And
Yeah.
she's taking no damage.
Even
She
if
has
you think the
43
dice is
spare
unkillable,
resist.
you have Kagi on the Coven just standing in the back line.
That's max pocket affliction, by the way. It just dealt 0 damage to the guys.
Once again, I'm not particularly a fan of this rating regeneration item on Pocket. I feel like you're spending a lot of money here on something that Pocket doesn't really care about. I think for me, Pocket just cares about bursting and not really sustain.
Yeah.
And yeah, 7
and
ultimate into pit. What can you do? Unstoppable, lightning scroll.
Yep. Oops. Let me take a screenshot of the match ID. Sorry, guys. All right. Got the match ID. GG. Well played. Grogladytes takes it 2-0 over the side of Patron Saints. And yeah. Now we'll
That
see.
was
Maybe.
relatively clean, I'd say.
Yeah.
For the set of
Let me
Grogladytes.
ask. Let me ask it. There. Of any series. Yeah, so I'm asking if there's a game 3 of any series that we can cover. Let me see. Yeah, one sec. Yeah, sorry, you put the match ID. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Thank you.
So I mean, this match page kind of just obviously resembles the game. It's nothing incredibly surprising that I see.
Okay, so looking at the scoreboard, I mean, you have to wonder if you're the side of Patron Saints. I mean, first of all, GG well played if you're Grogladytes, right?
Totally.
Obviously, Patron Saints, it's sad. The story ends here for them in this tournament. But if the EU teams have the passion, if they want to stick together, we'll find a way to keep them playing. Do not worry about that. We've already got a league going in North America, and we're more than open to having the league in Europe as well if the people have the interest. So, you know, we're going to provide the people with what they want at the end of the day. But you have to wonder from a draft perspective, if you're Patron Saints, was the Shiv worth the first pick? Considering the impact that he had this game.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. I think maybe it's maybe they're worried about